Hello again. The founder of the WikiLeaks website, Julian Assange, says he will agree to be arrested by British police on Friday if a UN investigation dismisses his recent complaint of arbitrary detention by Britain. Mr. Assange has been living at the Ecuadorian embassy in London for the past 3.5 years, granted political asylum there as he tries to avoid extradition to Sweden, where he's wanted for questioning of allegations of sexual assault. He denies the accusations. Our news reporter Jane Francis Kelly is with me. This statement by Julian Assange issued just a couple of hours ago. What did he say in it?
Well, he tweeted at 3 o'clock in the morning and he said, if it is found that my name has been cleared, that this UN panel finds that I have been detained arbitrarily, illegally, then I expect, if I am found to be innocent, to have my passport back and no attempts to arrest me. But if if they find that he's failed in this, then he says I will hand myself over to the police. Now he has been resisting this for the last 4 years. He went into the Ecuadorian embassy in June 2012 and has stayed there, even though he has suffered from ill health. So, this ruling is due to come out on Friday morning, and he says, depending on what happens, I will be out the door on, at 12 noon and hand myself over, if indeed, it goes against me, because he says I have no further steps of appeal.
So tell us the background to this. He had sought that political asylum, and the Ecuadorian foreign minister back in 2012 said, yes, you can have it.
Yes, that's right. Now, he's always said that this has always been an attempt to get him extradited to the United States, because he says, obviously he was responsible for thousands of diplomatic and military cables being released on the internet, causing absolute fury in Washington. And he says this was an attempt to do so. But what happened was that in 2010, he went over to Sweden to a conference. He had sex with 2 women. He says that it was consensual, and that he denies any wrongdoing, and that later these charges, or not charges, later the Swedish authorities said they wished to speak to him. He has not been charged with anything, and he does deny any wrongdoing.
Okay, Jane, thank you very much indeed. We'll see what happens on Friday. Okay, so the founder of the WikiLeaks website, Julian Assange, about 4 hours ago, he issued a statement. He said he will leave the Ecuadorian embassy in London and face arrest by British police if a UN panel rules he has not been unlawfully detained. He's been living in that embassy for more than 3.5 years. He was granted political asylum to stay there. He's trying to avoid extradition to Sweden, where he's wanted for questioning of allegations of sexual assault. He denies those accusations. Our correspondent Richard Lister is outside the embassy in central London. Why would he make this statement now? Is he just sick of living inside the embassy? He's always maintained that, he can speak to the Swedish police. He's got nothing to hide.
That's right. Why he's made this statement now, we don't know. I mean, obviously, the UN Working Group on Arbitrary Detention is expected to give its verdict on whether or not he has been unlawfully detained by the UK and the Swedish authorities, which obviously say that the UK authorities say they will arrest him if he leaves the embassy. The Swedish authorities have a detention order for him in relation to sexual assault allegations. His main concern, of course, is being extradited to the United States, where an investigation is underway into the release of top secret American material by his WikiLeaks organization. He has been granted political asylum by Ecuador. He says he wants to go to Ecuador. So a number of things are coming to a head, and as far as this UN working group is going to make its determination, Mr. Assange has said he will stand by that determination. So if they say yes, he has been unlawfully detained, he will expect the UK authorities to hand over his passport and let him go to Ecuador. Of course, the UK authorities are unlikely to do that. If, however, he says that working group says that he has been lawfully detained and that he can't leave this embassy, then he says he will hand himself over to the UK police at noon on Friday. We also understand that he has got health problems. He wants an MRI scan for what seems to be some severe pain in his shoulder, and that also could be contributing to this situation.
Do Do you think he'll have to go to a police station, Richard? Because until a few months ago, every time we saw that shot, there was at least one police officer standing out there, and then the London Metropolitan Police said, it's too expensive, we can't do that anymore.
There has been quite a row about the cost of policing this embassy. The UK said it was costing £10 million to provide round-the-clock police surveillance. Well, yes, you're right, there are no British police visible here, but of course I think we can be very sure that this building is still under surveillance. The UK authorities would still like to arrest him as soon as he leaves. This has become a huge embarrassment to them. And of course I think we can accept that the United States would also like to have a word with Mr. Assange because of the activities of WikiLeaks, although there is no formal extradition warrant in place as we understand it.
Richard, for the moment, thank you very much indeed. Richard Lister outside the Ecuadorian Embassy in London.